Do you ever find yourself pouring endless energy into explaining your choices to those who simply don't care? Think about it for a moment. How many times have you felt the need to justify your dreams, defend your decisions, or wait for someone to give you the green light to pursue what you truly desire? Here's the truth. Every moment spent trying to prove yourself to others is a moment you're robbing from your own potential. It's time to shift that focus. The instant you turn your attention inward, everything in your life begins to transform. Why? Because real success isn't about talking about your aspirations. It's about taking action. It's about discipline and the commitment to show up for yourself each day, even when no one is watching. Many people fall short of achieving their dreams because they're easily distracted. They allow the clamor of the outside world to derail their progress. They spend countless hours scrolling through social media, comparing their lives to others' carefully curated highlights. They worry about what their friends or family might think if they choose a different path. They waste energy arguing with those who don't have their best interests in mind. By the end of the day, they feel drained, frustrated, and stuck in the same position. But here's the game changer. When you cut out distractions, stop explaining yourself, and concentrate solely on what truly matters, you become unstoppable. Why? Because success is cultivated in silence. It's forged in the early hours when the world is still asleep. It's built in the moments when you choose hard work over the need for validation. It thrives when you push through adversity, even without applause. You don't need a crowd cheering for you. You don't need anyone's approval. What you need is consistency. The more you devote yourself to your growth, your discipline, and your learning, the more your life begins to align. You'll start attracting better opportunities, making wiser decisions, and cultivating genuine confidence, not because someone else has told you that you're good enough, but because you've proven it to yourself through your actions. And let's be clear, this isn't about isolating yourself or shutting the world out. It's about safeguarding your energy. It's about being selective with where you invest your time and focus. It's about recognizing that not every conversation warrants your response, that not every opinion deserves your attention, and that not every person should have access to your mind. When you learn to protect your focus, you reclaim control over your life. The best part? When you work in silence, when you stop announcing every step you take, your success becomes impossible to ignore. Others will start to notice. They'll be curious about how you achieved your results. They'll see the fruits of your labor, and you won't have to utter a single word. Your actions will convey everything you've accomplished. So here's the challenge. Stop talking about your plans. Stop fretting over what others think. Stop waiting for permission. Just dive into the work. Center your focus on yourself. Show up every single day and trust that in doing so, everything will fall into place. What you concentrate on expands. If you focus on growth, discipline, and learning, your life will be transformed. It really is that simple. Your energy is one of your most formidable forces, yet most people remain oblivious to how much control they wield over their own reality. Every thought, every action, and every choice is shaping your future. But here's the catch. Many people squander their energy in all the wrong areas. They fixate on what's lacking rather than what's possible. They get sidetracked by distractions instead of honing their discipline. They pay more attention to the opinions of others than to their own progress. And then they wonder why they feel stuck. The reality is that your life mirrors what you choose to focus on. If you continuously feed yourself negativity, surround yourself with the wrong people, and waste time on things that offer no value, your reality will reflect that. Conversely, if you shift your energy towards self-improvement, learning, and striving to become the best version of yourself, your world will begin to change. This isn't just motivational fluff, it's supported by science. Our brains are wired to seek out more of whatever we focus on. This phenomenon is known as the reticular activating system, which acts as a filter, bringing into your consciousness those things that align with your dominant thoughts. Ever notice how once you decide to buy a particular car, you suddenly spot that model everywhere? That's your brain at work. Now, imagine if you trained your mind to zero in on opportunities instead of obstacles. Picture yourself conditioned to see solutions rather than problems. You'd start drawing in more of what you genuinely want, rather than settling for whatever life throws your way. The problem is that many people fail to take responsibility for where their energy flows. They allow their environments to dictate their moods instead of taking control of their surroundings. They wake up and immediately check their phones, letting the news, social media, and other people's lives set the tone for their day. They get entangled in drama, negativity, and mindless distractions, only to be left feeling drained. Here's the truth. Your energy is your responsibility. No one else will shield it for you. If you want to transform your life, you must be intentional about what you allow into your mind and your space. This entails establishing boundaries. It means saying no to things that don't align with your goals. It means surrounding yourself with individuals who propel you forward rather than hold you back. It means swapping complaints for action, excuses for discipline, and distractions for focus. You commit to nourishing your mind with the right thoughts and your life with the right habits. You'll start to see tangible results. Once you begin to witness these results, everything shifts. You'll realize that the things that once bothered you no longer have the same effect. The negativity that used to drain you will barely register in your mind. The doubters will fade into irrelevance, not because your surroundings have changed, but because you have changed. You've conditioned yourself to focus on what truly matters. And when you dedicate your energy to self-improvement, you cultivate a new reality. This is why success isn't merely a stroke of luck. It's about alignment. It's about ensuring that your actions, mindset, and energy are in sync with the life you desire to create. You don't have to have everything figured out. You don't need to know every step of the journey. But you do need to be intentional with where you direct your focus because, at the end of the day, you are either nurturing your future or feeding your fears. So, what are you choosing to focus on? That choice is shaping your life, whether you recognize it or not. Distractions can destroy progress. They are one of the biggest reasons people remain stagnant for years, not due to a lack of talent or capability, but because they're too busy diverting their attention to things that don't matter. Every time you allow yourself to be sidetracked by negativity, by other people's opinions, or by unnecessary drama, you're robbing time and energy from the goals that truly matter to you. The saddest part? Most people don't even realize they're doing it. Reflect for a moment. How much time do you spend scrolling through social media, observing others live their lives instead of building your own? How often do you let someone else's negativity sour your mood and derail your focus? How frequently have you told yourself you'd begin something significant, only to be sidetracked by something inconsequential. This is the nature of distractions. They pull you away from your purpose. The more you allow them into your life, the more challenging it becomes to concentrate on what truly matters. And let's be honest, distractions aren't always obvious. Sometimes they masquerade as urgent matters that aren't genuinely important. A pointless argument, an unnecessary meeting, or a social gathering you didn't even want to attend. These seemingly insignificant moments add up and become the reasons you're not making progress. This is why the most successful individuals are ruthless with their time. They don't let distractions dictate their days. They don't waste energy on things that don't serve them. They safeguard their focus because they understand that without it, nothing remarkable gets accomplished. You need to adopt the same mindset. If you want to achieve something substantial, you can't afford to let distractions control you. You must take charge of your environment, your time, and your attention. One of the most significant distractions people face is the opinions of others. It's astonishing how much energy we expend worrying about what others think. We hesitate to make bold moves due to the fear of judgment. We hold back from pursuing our goals because we dread criticism. But here's the straightforward truth. People will judge you regardless of your actions. So, why not pursue what makes you happy? Why not concentrate on creating the life you genuinely desire instead of living in fear of others' opinions? The moment you stop caring about opinions that don't matter, you liberate yourself to focus on what truly does. When you concentrate, things begin to shift. You become more productive. You start to witness meaningful progress. You cultivate confidence, not because someone else validated you, but because you've proven to yourself that you're capable. That's the power of eliminating distractions. It creates a space for you to evolve into the person you were meant to be. But here's the catch. This transformation doesn't happen by chance. You must be deliberate about it. This means establishing boundaries. It means saying no more frequently. It means crafting a daily routine that prioritizes your goals above all else. It means removing anything from your life that hinders your progress, whether that's toxic relationships, bad habits, or time-wasting activities. Because ultimately, success isn't just about hard work. It's about working smart. And working smart necessitates protecting your focus at all costs. So, if you're tired of feeling stagnant, if you're frustrated by your current situation, ask yourself this: where is your energy going? Are you channeling it into things that facilitate your growth, or are you squandering it on distractions that keep you stagnant? The moment you commit to taking your focus seriously, everything transforms. You start moving faster. You begin to see results. You realize just how much you're capable of achieving. When you stop letting distractions dictate your life, the most gratifying part is that once you master this, it becomes a habit. Focus becomes your default state. Progress becomes your new normal. The things that once derailed you lose their power over you because you've trained yourself to stay locked in on what truly matters. So, don't allow distractions to rob you of your future. Protect your time, protect your energy, and watch as your life undergoes a remarkable transformation. Success doesn't hinge on a singular grand moment. It's about the small, consistent actions you take each day. It's easy to get swept up in the belief that a single massive change will solve everything, that one breakthrough, one stroke of luck, or one perfect opportunity will flip your life around. But that's not the reality. The genuine secret to success lies in the compound effect of self-improvement. The daily habits that may appear insignificant at first are what will lead to monumental changes over time. Consider this. Every decision you make either propels you forward or holds you back. Rising early to work on your aspirations, that's progress. Choosing to read instead of scrolling through social media, that's progress. Opting for discipline over excuses, that's progress. And while these actions may seem trivial in the moment, when you repeat them day after day, they begin to accumulate. Most individuals never achieve success because they underestimate the power of consistency. They embark on new ventures, but when they don't see immediate results, they quit. They put in a week of hard work, but when nothing changes, they revert to old habits. What they fail to realize is that true success is built through repetition. It's about showing up even when you don't feel like it. It's about committing to the work when no one is watching. Because here's the reality, results don't appear overnight. But that doesn't mean they aren't on the horizon. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't sow a seed today and expect a tree tomorrow. You nurture it, provide it with water and sunlight, and give it time. Initially, it may seem as though nothing is happening, but beneath the surface, roots are developing, strengthening, and preparing for the moment they will break through the ground. That's precisely how success operates. Every time you take a small step toward your goal, you're fortifying your foundation. You might not witness immediate results, but if you remain consistent, they will manifest. The challenge is that most people give up too soon. They become frustrated when they fail to see instant progress. They convince themselves their efforts are futile. But the truth is, every action you take counts. If you're continually learning, growing, and evolving, even in small ways, you're positioning yourself for success. The individuals who realize their dreams aren't the ones who made one grand gesture. They're the ones who persevered when others didn't. And here's the even more potent aspect. Once you start seeing results, momentum begins to build. When you establish one good habit, it paves the way for another. When you begin to make progress, it fuels your motivation to continue. Success breeds success, but it all starts with those incremental daily choices. This is why it's crucial to be intentional with your habits. The actions you undertake daily carry more weight than you might think. If you aspire to be healthier, it's not about a single intense workout. It's about moving your body consistently every day. If you desire greater success, it's not about a single career leap. It's about continuously learning and honing your skills. If you want to feel more confident, it's not about waiting for external approval. It's about demonstrating to yourself through consistent action that you are capable. The best part? You don't have to wait for the perfect moment to begin. You don't need ideal conditions, and you don't require anyone's permission. You just need to commit to taking a step, no matter how small, every day that brings you closer to your objective. And if you maintain consistency, if you trust the process and keep moving forward, even when it seems like nothing is happening, one day you'll wake up to discover that everything has changed. This is the power of the compound effect of self-improvement. It's not about making one grand gesture. It's about making small, smart choices every single day. Because when you do that, success isn't just a possibility, it becomes inevitable. Confidence doesn't stem from seeking approval. It doesn't come from likes, comments, or compliments. It doesn't arise from waiting for others to affirm that you're good enough. Confidence is birthed from action. It emerges from proving to yourself, through your own efforts, that you are capable. The more you act for yourself, the less you need validation from those around you. Many individuals believe confidence is an innate trait, something you either possess or lack. But that's a misconception. Confidence is a skill, just like any other. And like any skill, it can only be developed through practice. You don't gain confidence by merely thinking about taking action. You gain confidence by taking action, by putting yourself out there, by confronting challenges head on, even when you feel afraid. Here's a reality check. If you continually wait for approval before making a move, you'll find yourself paralyzed, unable to take any meaningful action. The truth is, not everyone will support you. Not everyone will grasp your journey. And if you allow that to hold you back, you'll remain stagnant. You'll confine yourself to a life that feels safe, but isn't fulfilling. Consider the most confident individuals you know. What do they have in common? They're not devoid of fear. They don't always have a clear roadmap. What they possess is a trust in themselves that empowers them to take action, even in uncertainty. They don't waste time pondering others' opinions. They simply go for it. And because they take action, they accumulate proof. Proof that they can tackle challenges, that they can navigate difficulties, and that they are indeed capable. That's the secret. Confidence isn't about waiting until you feel ready. It's about taking action before you feel ready. Most people hold off until they feel 100% prepared. But the harsh truth is that this moment rarely arrives. Doubts will always linger. Unknowns will always exist. But if you allow that to deter you, you'll never embark on your journey. The only way to cultivate confidence is to begin before you feel prepared, trusting that you'll figure it out along the way. And here's the kicker. Once you take that initial step, your dependence on external validation begins to diminish. When you prove to yourself that you're capable, you stop craving the approval of others. You cease seeking affirmation because you've already granted it to yourself. That's when true confidence takes root. It's not influenced by others' perspectives. It's grounded in what you know to be true about yourself. This is why individuals who take risks, who venture outside of their comfort zones, and who regularly challenge themselves exude confidence. It's not that they're free from doubt, it's that they've amassed enough evidence of their own abilities that doubt loses its grip on them. They've witnessed their own successes, which reinforces their belief that they can achieve again. The best part? You don't have to be the most talented, the smartest, or the most experienced person in the room. You simply need to be the one willing to take action. Because confidence isn't something you wait for, it's something you create. Every time you push through discomfort, every time you challenge yourself, every time you take a step forward despite fear, you're fortifying your confidence. So, if you've been holding out for the perfect moment to act, stop. If you've been hesitating out of fear of judgment, let it go. If you've been seeking someone else to validate your dreams, recognize that the only approval you need is your own. Confidence isn't about having all the answers. It's about trusting yourself enough to take the next step, even when you're uncertain. When you start living this way, when you stop waiting and start doing, everything changes. You come to realize that you don't need permission. You don't require validation. All you need to do is show up for yourself, time and again, until confidence becomes your default state. And once that happens, nothing and no one can hold you back. Patience and discipline are game changers. They are the distinguishing factors between those who succeed, and those who give up too soon. The truth is, most people never reach their aspirations, not due to a lack of capability, but because they lack the patience to endure the process. They expect instant results. They want success to come swiftly and effortlessly, and when it doesn't, they throw in the towel. But here's the reality check. Anything truly valuable requires time. Every successful person you admire, every individual who has achieved greatness, shares one common trait. They remained disciplined even when the road got tough. They didn't quit at the first sign of difficulty. They didn't walk away just because immediate results were elusive. They understood that genuine progress unfolds over time, and the only route to that destination is through consistency. This is where many individuals falter. They embark on a journey filled with enthusiasm, but as soon as they encounter challenges, they begin to doubt themselves. They convince themselves that if success isn't happening right away, it must not be meant for them. But the truth is, the gap between your efforts and your results is entirely normal. It's part of the journey, and that's why patience is essential. Consider a seed. You plant it in the ground, water it, and provide it sunlight. Yet for weeks, perhaps even months, it appears as though nothing is happening. However, beneath the surface, growth is occurring. Roots are developing. A foundation is being fortified. Then one day, the plant breaks through the soil. That's precisely how progress operates. Just because you can't see the results yet doesn't mean they aren't on their way. But most people don't persevere long enough to witness that breakthrough. They quit before they ever experience the transformation. This is why discipline plays such a crucial role. Discipline is what propels you forward when motivation wanes. Let's be honest. There will be days when you don't feel like showing up. There will be times when you doubt yourself, when it feels like progress is crawling along, or when you question whether it's all worth it. But discipline is about choosing to keep moving forward, even when it's tough. It's about showing up, even when you lack motivation. It's about committing to the work, not because you're feeling inspired, but because you made a promise to yourself. And here's the reality. While many people chase motivation, what they truly need is discipline. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. But discipline, that's the key to real success. It's waking up early when you'd prefer to sleep in. It's putting in the effort when no one is watching. It's remaining focused when distractions attempt to pull you away. And when you blend discipline with patience, that's when everything falls into place. When you trust the process, when you grasp that results don't materialize overnight, you cease to feel frustration. You stop giving up too soon. You stop allowing temporary obstacles to challenge your long-term vision. Most people overestimate what they can achieve in a week, but underestimate what they can accomplish in a year. They become disheartened when they don't see rapid progress, failing to recognize how much they could achieve if they simply remained consistent over time. The truth is that small, disciplined actions, repeated consistently, lead to remarkable outcomes. So, if you're feeling stuck, if you're questioning whether you're on the right path, ask yourself, are you allowing enough time for your efforts to bear fruit? Are you remaining disciplined even when it's challenging? Are you showing up for yourself daily, even when it feels like nothing is happening? Because if you are, keep going. Your breakthrough is on the horizon. The results will materialize, but only if you remain patient and disciplined enough to see it through. The individuals who succeed aren't always the most intelligent or the most gifted. They are the ones who refuse to quit. They are the ones who showed up day after day, trusting that their hard work would eventually yield rewards. That's precisely what you need to do. If you can master patience and discipline, nothing can stand in your way. Success doesn't demand noise. It doesn't require validation. It doesn't necessitate announcing every move you make. In fact, the most powerful actions you can take occur in silence, when no one is watching, when no one is applauding, when it's just you and the work. The problem with incessantly discussing your plans is that it tricks your brain into feeling as though you've already accomplished something. Studies indicate that when you share your goals publicly, you experience a rush of dopamine, the same chemical released when you actually achieve something. This creates a deceptive sense of progress. You feel good, but you haven't done the work yet. That's why so many people talk a big game but fail to follow through. They've already satisfied their craving for validation, even before putting in the effort. But when you maintain silence, when you focus on the task rather than the attention, that's when real progress unfolds. Now, you're not wasting energy justifying your actions to others. You're not seeking permission. You're not waiting for anyone to validate your journey. You're simply doing what needs to be done. Over time, this builds momentum. Reflect on the most successful individuals in the world. They don't squander time announcing every move. They don't feel the need to prove themselves with words. They simply show up, put in the effort, and let the results do the talking. That's the mindset you need to embrace. When you're genuinely focused on your growth, you won't have time to seek approval. You're too busy evolving into the person you're destined to be. Another reason remaining silent is so potent is that it safeguards your energy. Every time you share your aspirations with the wrong people, you expose yourself to negativity, doubt, and criticism. Not everyone will support you. Not everyone will grasp your vision. If you're not careful, their opinions can sow seeds of doubt in your mind. That's why it's wiser to keep your goals to yourself and let your actions do the talking. When you remain quiet, you maintain control. You don't give others the opportunity to interfere with your mindset. Yet, this isn't solely about silence. It's about channeling all your energy into your personal growth instead of being sidetracked by the actions of others. Too many people become preoccupied with comparison, constantly monitoring what others are achieving, measuring their progress against someone else's timeline. But the moment you redirect your focus inward, everything changes. Now, you're not racing to keep up with anyone. You're not chasing trends. You're simply committed to becoming the best version of yourself. Here's the beautiful truth. When you concentrate on your own journey, when you drown out the noise, when you commit to quiet, diligent work, everything starts to align. You begin to attract the right opportunities. You start to see genuine progress. You cultivate confidence, not because someone made you feel good enough, but because you've shown it to yourself through your actions. Success isn't about being the loudest voice in the room. It's about being the most consistent. It's about showing up day after day, regardless of whether anyone is watching. It's about remaining dedicated even when you receive no accolades, because when you do that, when you eliminate the noise, cease your explanations, and focus solely on becoming, your success will inevitably manifest. And before you know it, you won't have to say a word. Your achievements will resonate loudly.